Alright everybody, today we're back and we're here to talk about UFC Fight Night, Brunson versus SHAHBAZYAN. So that was a fun card there. My picks were horrible, so please don't hold that against me. I know I went 4 for 4 last week, this past weekend, 1 for 4. Yeah, wasn't good. But we had some fun fights. So we'll go over now. The reason why I was 1 for 4, even though I went over for 5 fights, is the first fight, Kevin Holland versus Trevin Giles. Unfortunately got canceled right as the fight was about to happen. Giles was getting ready to walk out and he fainted. The commission looked over him, decided it wasn't a good idea for him to continue, which I agree was the right move. And that fight I'm sure will take place at a later time. Hopefully Giles is okay. I know he's going to see a cardiologist so to make sure everything's alright. So hopefully he's alright. So the first fight that we kicked it off then was Lando Vannata against Bobby Green. That was a really fun fight. I mean, it was action-packed. It was a lot of action. There was a lot of violence in that one. Both Green and Vannata were knocked down, both in the first round, and then Green knocked down Vannata again in the second round, and he ended up winning by unanimous decision. It was a good fight for Green. I underestimated him. He's actually looking better. It looks like he's putting things together. So I would say, maybe we'll see. Maybe he can make a. Maybe now he can make a run towards something. We'll see though. In the next fight was the only one I got right was Vicente Luque against Randy Brown. That was excellent. Luque he was smart game plan was he was just chopping at that lead leg, chopping at it, and you could see Brown just lost mobility and even got dropped with the calf kick there. Luque then just took control. He got him against the cage and then just hit him with a beautiful knee. Dropped Brown, hit him with some punches. With about 4 seconds left in the second round, the ref just waved it off, and it was a good call, even though there was 4 seconds left, just because Brown was taking a lot of punishment there. That was great. Luque, I just from here on out only want to see him to fight top 10 guys. We'll see. I mean, maybe he can do something. I mean, I know he did lose to Stephen Thompson. It was a close fight. Maybe he's still young. He's only 28, so maybe he's putting some things together. And we'll see. I mean, I'd love to, like I said, I'd love to see him. He called out Nate Diaz. I don't think Nate Diaz will take that fight. I personally believe if he did, he would beat Nate Diaz. Probably following the same game plan he did in this fight, just chopping at that lead leg because Nate does not check those. But we'll see. If Nate doesn't want to fight him, there's Rafael Dos Anjos. Be a great fight for him. But Luque is somebody to keep an eye out. I like the way he's putting things together now. He's violent and just love it. I mean, you know, he's got the skills on the ground as well, but he's also got great stand-up. The co-main event was Joanne Calderwood against Jennifer Maia. So basically, Joanne Calderwood had a title shot already against the current champ Valentina Shevchenko. Now Shevchenko got hurt, so their fight was supposed to be on hold for a little bit. So Calderwood was like, instead of just staying back and waiting for Shevchenko to get healthy, she decided to fight Jennifer Maia and put her title shot on the risk. Her title shot at risk. And well, that was a bad gamble because now, that fight ended very quickly. Jennifer Maia was outlanding her on the feet. It got taken to the ground. Calderwood was on top. Maia got her in a nice armbar. Calderwood tapped out. Yeah, so now to me, I think if anything, Maia is going to now get that title shot that Calderwood had. That's a shame for Calderwood because, like I said, she had the title shot already there, and, well, she took a risk, and it didn't work. All right, and the main event, so it was rising star Edmund Shabazian, who's only 22 years old, was undefeated and everything, making a huge run against Derek Brunson, who's, he's been there, and, he's fought against the top guys, and, the first round was close. I did lean it towards Edmund, but in the second round, you could just see Brunson was taking over. And Brunson took Edmund down, and towards the end of the round, he was just pummeling him with some hard shots. And really should have been, I think, stopped right at the end of the second round because when Edmund got back to his corner, you could see he was completely out of it. I don't know why the trainers felt that he was okay to come out in the third because he wasn't. You could see his body language just was not there. It went to the third round. Doctors even checked on Edmund to make sure he was okay. They said he was all right, even though you could clearly see he wasn't. Brunson just, again, started pummeling him real quick. Edmund wasn't defending. Herb Dean came in, stopped the fight, and that was it. For Brunson, I mean, this is 3 fights in a row now he's won. He's looked a lot more patient. He has the wrestling. He's 36, so maybe now he's kind of figured it out. Maybe he's now with this patient approach. Maybe we'll see, because he's been reckless, and that's what's got him in trouble before. But maybe now with this patient approach, with the power and the wrestling he has, he could make a run. For Edmund, I would say he's only 22 years old. I mean, you know, he still has so much time. He has to work on his cardio. I kind of think, too, he's fallen in love with the knockouts. And so when he was throwing so much, you could see into those shots in the first round, and he got gassed out. And something to work on. The cardio, maybe, you know, not putting so much into all those shots and see. But he's 22. He'll definitely be better. He has, you know, he can only go up. It's a learning experience for him. So we'll see how he rebounds from there. All right. So this week's fight will be, to be also a fight night, will be heavyweights. It'll be Derek the Black Beast Lewis against Alexei Oleinik, who is the bull constrictor from Russia. Yes, interesting fight. It's striker versus grappler. Should be a good fight. I'll go over a little bit of the main card, but I'm only going to give predictions on the 2 fights, the co-main event and the main event, just because I'm not as familiar with the other 3 fighters, the 3 fights before that. One of them I am, but you know, actually I'll make it 3. So let's get interesting. All right, so the first fight will be in the lightweight division. It'll be Beneil Dariush, hope I'm saying that correctly, versus Scott Holtzman. Dariush he's always just been in and around the top 10, you know, and he's just a consistent guy. He has tools. He has great skills. I think he'll actually beat Scott Holtzman. So that'll be my first prediction of the night there. That'll be the fight to start off the card for the main card. So I'll pick him to win by unanimous decision. It'll be a fun fight. The next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. It's Yana Kuznetskaya against Julia Storyenko. So Storyenko is the newcomer. This should be an interesting fight. I don't know who will win that one. It'll be an interesting fight. Yana's already been in the UFC for a couple fights, so we'll see what happens there. I think it will be a good fight. Women, like I said, they always put action fights, so we'll see. Can the newcomer have what it takes to kind of start making her name for herself? So we'll see. That'll be a fun fight to watch. The next fight will be in the middleweight division. It'll be Maki Pitolo against Darren Stewart. Should be a fun fight as well. Again, can't pick one or the other, so I'm not going to leave that, but it'll be a fun fight. The co-main event will be former middleweight champ Chris Weidman against another Russian guy from Dagestan, Omari Akhmetanov. Weidman's been struggling a lot lately. He's been getting knocked out a lot lately. But I think he will win this fight. The reason why I think he will win this fight is Omari doesn't really have knockout power. Yes, he can take things to the ground, but Weidman is an all-American wrestler. He knows how to stop takedowns. He can take people down. So I think this fight will probably be on the feet. Weidman still has power. I know Weidman is an underdog here, probably. Like I said, he hasn't looked good in his last 2 fights, but I actually think he'll pull this off. I'm pulling for him. You know, he is the former champ. It seemed like a long time ago, but you know, I'm hoping maybe he can make one final run. I don't know if he can anymore because his chin's been kind of suspect, but we'll see. Hopefully he pulls this fight off against Omari. Now, the main event. This will be fun. It will be Derek Lewis, Black Beast, against Alexei Oleinik. We know what's going to happen. Oleinik is definitely going to try to take Derek Lewis down. That's his game plan. I mean, he's a submission specialist. I mean, he's 42 years old. I mean, Derek Lewis is not a spring chicken either. He's 38, but we know the game plan. So it's always fun to see with striker versus a grappler, to see will Derek Lewis be able to, and he actually has pretty good takedown defense, Lewis. So I think he can hold it off. I think he will knock out Oleinik, although Oleinik is tough. I can see this fight ending in a TKO, but I do pick Derek Lewis to win the fight. That's it for this card. Next weekend's card will be a pay-per-view, so that is going to be huge, and we'll be talking about that one tremendously. But hopefully I'll do better this week with my picks, because like I said, I was 1-4. It wasn't 1-3. Sorry, 1-3. It was not good. You know, so we'll see. I hope I make up for it this weekend. All right, y'all. We'll see you soon. Peace.